The real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thank y'all for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I see that the NTZ crew is in the house. Thank you, Michael Beat Your Life. John is on the men's. He's in Cebu today. I hope he's watching, but his appointment is at 11 a.m. The subject today is going to be, is your love life like the 4th of July or Thanksgiving? And I want to give the proper credit to Michael Castleman. He's got MA behind his name. I don't know what that means, but he wrote an article on the 5 key changes. 5 key ways sex changes for older men. And nothing that he says is going to be in this today, but in that article, he asked that question. I thought, wow, that's a good topic. A good title and a good topic. Before I get started, let me read this disclaimer. I'm going to do this on all my live streams, and my disclaimer will be in my descriptions and also in the comments. It says, I'm not a lawyer, a financial advisor. None of what I communicate verbally or in writing here should be considered legal or financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before traveling to a foreign destination or investing in any real, tangible, or digital asset, and understanding that traveling to another country or investing in anything is inherently risky. I do not provide guarantees of personal safety on your travels or your personal investments, period. And I want to thank Grumpy Dude Bryant for giving me that just unbelievable disclaimer. How thoughtful of him to do that, and for you guys to challenge me the other day, because I'm still green in this YouTube, believe it or not, man. I just be sharing with you my boots on the ground experiences. I don't know nothing about all this technical stuff, but Grumpy Dude Brand is fast becoming one of my heroes, man. This guy's got an unbelievable story of survival, and hopefully one day I can get him on the panel, man, and he can tell y'all about it. But thanks again for that. But yeah, I'm going to start out with John. He emailed me and said he had a few pains going over on the ferry and on the bus, so he used the nitroglycerin pills to calm him down. You know, he's like a ticking time bomb right now. So all the well wishes, all the prayers and stuff, he really needs him, man, because I hope they can get him in there and find out what's going on, get him situated and back on his feet. But he's in Cebu right now. And 11 o'clock, he goes to the doctor. I want to say that the exchange rate is as high as I've seen in a while. It's 51.47 pesos to the dollar. Now, that's the Forex rate, the rate you'll get if you go to the bank. It's not what Western Union's paying. It's not what Remitly and all those people are paying. So don't confuse. But that is the official rate. It's very good. Also, the COVID cases are declining. They're at a minus 10% growth rate, which is unbelievable. It was 28,000 new cases yesterday, down from 39,000 cases. And they do that on a 7-day rotating basis. And according to Okta, which tracks this stuff, by March, it's going to be back to pre-Omicron numbers. And at that time, it was like 300 and something cases. And you can read between the lines all you want. Remember, the Philippines was going to open up right before this Omicron struck. But I get the topic today because I was just Googling some stuff about uh, Viagra, and I'm saying, is Viagra? Can you just get it over the counter here? Because I don't use Viagra. Because a lot of people ask me that. Can they bring it over here and all that? And I ran across an interesting article about Viagra in the Philippines, and I'm going to put it in my description after this is over with. But it quotes a famous, probably the only sex therapist I've ever heard of in the Philippines. She's also a doctor, clinical psychologist. Her name is Margie Holmes. And she was asked a series of questions. It's a great article in Newsweek about the impact that Viagra was going to have on the Philippines, being this conservative country, Roman Catholic and all of that. And she said, of course, it's going to be impactful. She said, because now men who could not join these sex tours before are now going to be able to join the sex tours. And I thought it was interesting because this lady, man, she's like a Dear Abby. Her name is Margie Holmes, and she answers questions about, sexual problems, relationship problems. And she said, she talked about the Japanese sex tours over here. I said, I didn't know anything about that, man. So much that I don't know about the Philippines. But remember when I tell you guys, I say, hey, when you come over here, I don't care what your reasons are that you think they are. The people think that you're over here on some type of sex tour or something. But she said that it's going to add to the label of the Philippines being a supplier of women. And men with money can have what they want. But that wasn't the only profound thing that she said. Here's what she said. She was talking about women and the impact Viagra was going to have. She says, it's more important that their husbands are faithful to them and care for them, than his sexual performance. She went on to say that there are Filipinas, not all, she said there are Filipinas who like their husbands to remain either premature ejaculators or with erectile dysfunction, because in a very sad, indirect way, it guarantees their husband's infidelity. Now you're going to say, well, what's that got to do with it, man? Because I'm going to tell you something. As older men, when we come over here to retire in the Philippines, we face a lot of challenges. And one of the biggest ones, to me, I think, is trying to live up to that Playboy image that people put on us, this sex pet image. And what we really are, most of us are, instead of dirty old men, we're really just clean-cut grandfathers trying to get the most out of our later years, man. But she said that, faithfulness is very important to Filipino women. And the biggest problem women come to her about is the husband's or boyfriend's infidelity and not whether or not she has an orgasm. And this has been my boots on the ground experience over here, man. Women are more concerned about your satisfaction than theirs. They just want you to be faithful. They want a one-woman man above all other things. Now, initially, is it money? Yeah. But once they start caring about you and once they start loving you, that's number one. And I think a lot of guys don't realize that. A lot of us, I couldn't live up to the sexual pressure and expectations over there in the West. I was supposed to be some type of Superman, especially as a black man. And it feels good to be able to come over here to the Philippines and escape a lot of that. See, we think we're running into the fire, but really what we're doing is we end up with a woman over here who's very understanding, very cooperative, and thinks more about your happiness than hers. I saw a post on Facebook, and then we'll get into answering questions and stuff and get more deeper into this. And an older lady was holding up a sign that says, the key to happiness is to finding a good husband. And see, that's why I say it's different over here than in the West. We bring the Western thinking over here, see, because this is what I put. We assume to know what a woman who lives on the other side of the earth and who comes from a different culture with little in common with ours wants. And most of the time we're wrong, man. And I think when it comes to this sex thing, it's wrong. So is your sex life like the 4th of July, or is it like Thanksgiving? You know, mine's is like the 4th of July. But I know that eventually I'm going to have to deal with reality. As we get older, ED, PE, and a decreased libido is real life, man. You know, so I'm going to enjoy it while I can. It's not the end of the world, though. That's a fact. There's some things you can do. You know, you can still, from what I've been reading, have orgasms without an erection. A lot of us turn to Viagra, but see, Viagra doesn't do anything for the libido. Doesn't do anything for the sexual desire. You're just running around with a heart on for no reason at all. But yeah, let's talk about this, guys, because this is real life stuff. And I think this, in my opinion, that this is something good. This is something that we need to know, that, you know, you don't have to live up to that sex pet image, you know, of being this machine over here. Robert Dame says, my love life is like the 9th Avenue, Keisha B. Avenue, commemorating a list of tragedies and suffering. Beach of Life says, I had fireworks with my daughter's mom, spent 10 years cleaning up that mess. What a party, though. Malibu Ken, the love life always starts out like the 4th of July and ends up like Thanksgiving. Gentlemen, welcome to America. Yeah, let me go to my notes, because this could be an interesting live stream if people want to be honest. You know, because a lot of us come over here in the latter stages of our life, you know, when there's no more fireworks, really. It's all Thanksgiving, really. You know, we're eating more than anything. I put down here, and this has just been my experience over here. Life is an older aspect over here. It's like a flickering flame. You know, it dims and it brightens. You know, you have your good days and your bad days. That's why when I said on that one video about the benefits of a healthy sex life over here, is I don't waste a hard on. If it's a true hard on, I don't waste it. You know, because hell, who knows when the next one's going to come? You know, I'm getting to that age right now. But we escape that pressure, man, because for me, here's what they want over in America. They want the 666. They want the 6 figures, the 6-pack, and the 6 foot. If you're not that, then you don't measure up, man. And it's good to come to a place where none of that really matters for real. See, you know, once you cut to the chase and the dust settles, they just want a man that's going to be faithful, that's going to treat them good. But I can have one thing in there too, 6 inches. You know, they want that, man, you know, over there. And it's hard to live up to those expectations over there, man. It gets frustrating. I know for me it does. Hey, I love the chime. What's going on? That's Jacob Tanjay. Thank you, brother, for joining me today. Reginald Dollar, what's up from Delaware? Wow. Tim H. Biggie B said, what's up, Calvin? Hope all is well. Excuse me. And John is doing better. You know, he says he's feeling better, but your heart is nothing to play with, man. And my thoughts are really with John. Mr. Vegas is right. He said at 51.47, the highest since early 2019. It's going up, man. What's up, Yusuf? Omar Habib. What's up, Jason? He said, John needs to come back to the U.S. and let Medicare take care of him until he's all fixed up. I tell you what, man, that's a good idea, especially his aftercare. Right now, I don't know if he's strong enough to get on that plane and make that long ride. But, John is not stupid, man. John, my only concern is, John, right now he's got to be a Superman. He's coming off of tobacco, nicotine. He's coming off of alcohol. He's coming off of that that morphine, and he's got health problems, man. I mean, right now he's in a bad way, man. And I think all that's affecting his thinking. He's not himself right now. That's a fact. Hey, Kente Dynasty says, good day from Chicago. My love life is like a Charlie Brown Christmas. No Santa, no pee, no gifts under a tree. It gets better when you get over here. But after the dust settles, guys, it's good to know that you're going to be with a woman most of the time who is really, what's more important to her is your satisfaction and making you happy. All she wants you to do is be a one-woman man. Now, and that's a good thing about us being older, some of us. See, I didn't come over here when I was 58. My story would be a lot different today than it is. I came over here when I was 45. And there was no one-woman man in me at that time, especially not when I first got over and found and discovered what was here. I mean, I was like a kid in a candy store. I literally was, man. And I was like, I tell you all the time, man, I was like a bull in a china shop, man. I was tearing up some stuff, man. Hey, Alpina R, what's up, man? I forgot to ask you, how old is your wife, Alpina? And where's she from? I didn't forget. Yeah, just the bill too. He says the size of your wallet is more important than the size of your. Yeah, initially it is, but Philippines eventually they will start having feelings for you, and they'll start putting their hooks in you, and claiming you as their own. And there's not a whole lot they won't do for you, as long as they know that you're faithful. Once you get outside of that, man, it's nothing you can do to fix it. I promise you, man. Beach of Light says, I think I would maybe not like a woman who didn't want to get off, or did I get that wrong? Well, I mean, that's not her number one concern. Yeah, women are sexual beings. That's what Margie Holmes said. And I tell you what, guys, I'm going to buy her book. It's called Love, Life, and Lust. She wrote the book in 1990. It was very controversial over here in the Philippines, if you can imagine how conservative, but it's a great book. I read reviews and it's been reprinted 11 times. It's a classic book. And she, she's married to a foreigner now, been married to him for 16 years. And this is her fourth husband, by the way. She don't sugarcoat it, man. And it's enlightening to get information straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, especially somebody like her who has no holds barred. She's telling you how it is. Now, she had a YouTube channel. I think it was called Dear Margie. But the videos are old. But, man, I tell you what. You go back on there, man, and you enjoy a lot of stuff. If she would have, if there was a Filipina online right now, which there's not, I promise you, giving you the type of information that Margie Holmes gives you, she would be way up there, man. But because she's 68 now, and most of her videos are older, we've never heard of her. I had never heard of her. I just stumbled across that article. I was like, wow, who is this lady? And I started researching her, man. And yeah, she gives you the nitty gritty. She don't play, and check her out, man. And I think you'll get a lot out of that. Hey, Ennis Montgomery, thanks for that super chat. He said, hey, big brother Calvin, thanks for sharing your story I'm going to be very careful with Filipino hearts. Keep making us proud from Rockford, Illinois. Thanks, Ennis. I just think for us, man, a lot of us, man, we're coming over here to escape the rat race, but also that sexual rat race over there. I mean, it's very competitive over there. I mean, we're honest with ourselves, man. We're always is only as good as the last man they had or the new man that they've got. We always get lost in that shuffle somewhere. And like I said, it's always about the six figures. Are you good enough? 6 figures, 6-pack, 6 foot. It's some crazy expectations, man. And I'm just glad I'm somewhere now where, yeah, initially it's all about the money. But hell, you don't have to have a lot of money over here. $1,000 a month is enough. See? And we didn't make the rules, so I'd rather be over here where my $1,000 makes me look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or somebody else, Tom Cruise, than be over there with not enough money, not enough anything over there. It's never enough over there. Victor Payne said that is so true. No matter what their age, the women are. They are very true. There's always the blue pill. Yeah. Well, he said I missed the difference between the 4th of July and Thanksgiving. I don't think I need to explain that to you. I mean, are you just, blowing the back out? Are you sitting around eating at the table all the time? It's basically all you can do. Because there's other ways to enjoy sex besides, beating up something. Are you blowing up the box? Kente Dynasty, or are you just, enjoying a meal once a year? See? Yeah, everybody knows what Thanksgiving is, real reserved and laid back, and you're not doing a whole lot. What's up, John Gomez? Good to see you, brother. He said, Papa Kiko says, does the Philippines have their own version of Viagra? No, Viagra is legal over here. You have to get it from a prescription, but they've got Cialis and Levitra and all of that. But, it just gives you a hard on, really. It doesn't make you hungry for the woman. And see, when you lose that, I don't know if there's anything else to do. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but as men get older, we start suffering from things like that. And then if that doesn't make matters worse, listen to this, guys. This was a study was done by the U.S. National Social Life, Health, and Aging. And Hugh Liu, believe it or not, that's the doctor's name. She's a sociologist. She was in charge of the survey. She says older men who indulged in sexual activity once a week or more had twice the risk of heart attack, stroke, or other cardiovascular conditions compared with men who went without. Now I'm like, this is totally different from everything else we learned about having sex. I did a whole video where I researched this stuff and it said, sexually active men, there's benefits to being sexually active. Now she comes back with a billy bat and slaps us over the head. And when older men, she's talking about late 50s to mid 80s. And she says the reason is we exhaust ourselves more than younger men in an effort to reach an orgasm. She says, and that's basically what it is, resulting in more stress on our cardiovascular system in order to achieve climax. And they did it was a survey, it was a study of 2,264 men. I just kind of found that interesting. I was like, that's the opposite of what I was told. Clayton Murray said those headless chickens run around with a heart on for no reason. Yeah, I mean, if you just want to, have sex just for the sake of having sex, then I guess Viagra would be good. Tell me y'all's experience with it, because I don't deal with it. Remember, there was one of my subscribers, Zhu Jiao. He sent me, because he's in that type of business. I'm not, I'm not, trying to promote him or anything. But he sent me the tuxedo pill and a couple of other pills that supposedly are for ED and stuff like that. And even though I had a hard on, it's like, okay, I got a hard on, but it didn't make me want my woman any more than normal. I just had a hard on, man, and I don't get it. Hernani Ong says married 45 years. Wow. Congratulations, man. Joshua Estra says good stream. Yeah, let's get honest, guys. Let's help each other. I love LaChan says balut is the Philippine Viagra. From what I hear, but remember now, the balut is supposed to be an aphrodisiac. That's different than Viagra. Viagra just gives you a hard on. The balut is supposed to make your sexual desire stronger. That's what I'm looking for. Because an online friend of mine, and he's married to a Filipina, he just finished building a house, Stace Johnson. He sent me a picture of something called honeymoon tea. He said, Calvin, this is the natural Viagra over there in the Philippines. He said, try this out. I'm going to try it, but if all it's going to do is give me a hard on, I don't want it. I want something, I want to be hungry, man. I'm hungry now, but I want to be hungry, man. I don't just want to be walking around with a hard on for no reason. Free Mind says the nitty gritty, baby. Here's John Wells. What's up, John? He said Jacob Chanja. Hey, Jacob, can't stay long. Going to the doctor in a few minutes. Alpina R said we just men in the world trying to get it in the best way we can, man, especially in the Philippines. Yeah. But if you talk to a lot of men, they'll tell you that, since more and more older men are coming here to escape the pressures and expectations of sexual performance in the West. If you say that's no different, if the expectations and pressure here is not different than in America, it's because you haven't had both. It is different, man. I could never really satisfy my American wife. It's like, really, this is all I got. He said Jason Flynn, okay, as I mentioned in the chat before, it's like a Charlie Brown Christmas. It's Clayton Murphy said, I never waste a heart on. I don't. And my girlfriend will tell you, it's the truth. He says, then why do the women go for these guys in their 70s and 80s? Well, not all of them do. But remember, okay, now imagine, I'm going to let you answer this yourself. Margie Holmes says this, that there are Filipinas who like their husbands to remain either premature ejaculators or with erectile dysfunction, because in a very sad, indirect way, it guarantees their husband's infidelity. If fidelity is so important to a Filipina, that's the reason why she likes this 70 and 80-year-old man. She knows that he's not going to fool around on her. That has a lot to do with it, man. Faithfulness is very, very important to women over here. I didn't know that, man. It took me a while to realize that. Once you cross that line, and man, it'll never be the same. If she accepts you back, you better sleep with one eye open and one eye closed, man. Because she's only bringing you back to get rid of you. I promise you. Hey, Brasilero Shelton, thanks for that super chat. He said, what's up, Cali Cal? If a Filipino claims you, how are we to leave if we don't want to be with them? You say that they would try to make your life miserable, that we may have to leave. What's the guy to do? Well, you have to move to another island. And of course, you're going to have to shut down your social media and start another all new accounts. Because the minute you are with her, within that first week, she's going to infiltrate all of that. All your friends are going to be her friends. And that's a way uh, of harassing you because they know who her posts are about. They're going to be about you. He said, some men have a six-pack. I got a keg. But see, over here, what I noticed is it's a lot of beard guts and buzz cuts. But that's okay with the Filipinos. You know, they seem to like beard guts and buzz cuts. But over there, you better be 6 foot tall, earning six figures with a six-pack. And you better have 6 inches on soft over there. Man, it's tough over there, man. Yeah, tell him you want a second opinion. Yeah, this is Grumpy Dude Bryant, man. I got to give you a shout out, man, because you fast becoming one of my heroes, man. He shared with me his life story. I won't share it here. I'd like to have him on the panel to have him tell you guys, man. It's a phenomenal story of survival, man, really, and just never giving up. And this type of people I like to be around. But thank you, man, for thinking enough about me, man, because I don't know a lot about this YouTube stuff. I just be on here trying to, help in my own way if I can. I didn't know I had to have a disclaimer and all that, but yeah, people be holding you accountable. So thank you for that, man. Hey, he says, hey, Sunshine, number 49, prayers for Moonshine. Yeah, man, I'll be glad when he get when he's back to normal. Ashuru Brown says 150 watching and 50 thumbs up. Let's get the thumbs up, fam. Cal deserves it. Hey, I really appreciate it. Rich in Las Vegas. He said, hey, Cal, good to see you. Man, I went out Vegas, man. I lost all my money. In the first day, I had to call my boss because I won a trip. I was in my first year in the insurance business. I won the trip. You know, the company has a trip. You have to have a certain level of sales and all that. Well, I win the trip, and I go out there, me and my wife, and I lose all my money the first day, man. I had to call my manager, man, Wayne Tipton. If you just happen to be watching, man, I thank this guy, man. Any success I had, I have to thank him for it, man. He sent me my paycheck early. So I wouldn't be broke out there for that whole week. But yeah, that's one of my memories of Vegas, man. And it was hot as hell. It was we went there July of 2006. And until I came to the Philippines, that's the type of heat that's over here in the Philippines. If you go to Vegas in the summertime, that burning heat where it really burns you. That's how it is over here, except the humidity is 100 times worse over here. But that heat over there was so bad. You know, they got them, they're not sprinklers, they're mists. It's how hot. Marlo North said, what exactly is wrong with John? John had a series of heart attacks, man. Marlo North, send me an email, man. I want to get you on my panel. A lot of guys asking about you, man. They like your last appearance on the panel. He says, Grumpy Dude Brian says, John Wells, keep working on your recovery. John, I expect to see you when I arrive in Negros later this year. Yeah, man. I tell you what, when John makes his return, we might have 1,000 people watching. They just want, half of them going to be meddlers, but the other half are going to be his fans and well wishers. Okay, John, get your rest, man. Be careful. He says, I got to go now. Thanks to all. He said, we're with you, John Wells. Yeah, John, is a good guy, man. You never miss a good thing till it's gone, guys. Yeah, and this is what I was saying. He's a Superman right now, Pina R. Nicotine, alcohol, man, now morphine. And then, according to John, his love life was like the 4th of July. So he's withdrawing off that. Hell, Mike Simpson says your libido is probably better if you're not having to beg for it for 12 times a year. That's exactly right. But, as we get older, I think of some things that we're going to have to come to terms with. And any chance I get, without being weird, I always ask older guys like, man, how's your sex life now? Because is it something that I should look forward to, or is it something I should dread? Like, man, I don't want to be 70 and, all I can do is, look at you. I'll have a Thanksgiving meal. Nothing in it for me, really. So anybody out here that's older and is really still, beating some stuff up and, blowing the back out, comment on here, man. Give us some inspiration, some motivation. Because I'm still young, man. I'm 58. So there's no big deal that I'm still moving the crowd. There's no big deal. But if somebody's on here that's 68 and still moving the crowd, then yeah, we want to hear from you. Yeah, it's true. You do. But that's saying two different things, Major Trace. And Calvin, one of your older videos said you have to be able to get it up. If not, Phil Pino will find it elsewhere. Not causing problems, just ask for clarification. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's true. But it's not her number one priority. Her number one priority is you, your happiness, and your faithfulness. The only thing she's really worried about is whether or not you're fooling around. Of women sexual beings, absolutely. But remember, Major Trey, I got to give you the 360. I just can't give you one side of the story without giving you the other. And I knew that was going to come up. But yeah, but it's not her number one priority. And remember, this is from Margie Holmes. She said that. I just happened to agree with it when she said it because I was like, even though I'm blowing the back out, no woman has ever complained to me about, hey, or if I got done quicker than usual. They never complained. She's the one that said it's more important that their husbands are faithful to them and care for them than their sexual performance. That's what she said. I'm saying you better, I know what Margie Holmes is saying, but hell, you better, depending on the woman you got and her age, you better be packing something. It could cause problems. But it's good to know if I'm an older man and I'm not as strong as I used to be, let's just say like that. It's good to know that a woman's not going to kick me to the curb simply because of that. That she's going to be understanding and, as long as I'm faithful. Hey, Rock, what's going on? Thanks for that super chat. He said, need to return to San Carlos tomorrow with my eye on Sapaway Saturday morning. Not messing with those Don Salvador, Benedicto mountains at night. John, get better, man. Yeah, I tried to warn you, Rock, about them mountains at night, man. Even in the daytime. But yeah, that's my buddy, Rock Harmon, man. Yeah, let's go to Sapaway. We'll get a room at Whispering Palms, too. That way you'll have some company. But I'm not going to eat. If I eat breakfast, it's not going to be that lunch meat. That's what they call it. I was getting to this, Victor. I was getting to this. Believe it or not. But since you already jumped the gun, let me address this. He says, why can't we come over there and do a vacation, not looking for sex or a lifetime woman, just enjoy the Philippines? Yeah. And I wrote down here, I said, to the guys who aren't coming over here to live, because a lot of the times our conversations seems like it's geared more toward expats. But there's actually people who just come over here on a vacation. Now, it's not many, but they do it and enjoy the Philippines. And they backpack and they, what do you call it? When they hike, they deep sea dive, they do all that stuff, Victor. Yeah. And I would, my next video is going to be the Philippines is the best place in the world to retire, because I did the Philippines is the worst place. And I'm going to hit on a lot of stuff you're talking about. But yeah, it's true. It's a fact. You don't have to come over here, man. But it's just, on my channel, very few people are coming over here for that. We're coming over here for some action. That's just how it is. Hey, it's Kandari TV. Thanks for the super chat. He said, my love life is over the moon with my wife, my mistresses, girlfriends, and my side chicks, man. It's wonderful. LOL keeps the blood flowing. And I know you put LOL, but I know you ain't playing. Thomas Johnson, can you get your Filipino to go on birth control? Absolutely. I think you can. My girlfriend's talking to her doctor now about that. I didn't ask her. But when we had that situation, it's making her think about that. And that's another thing Margie Holmes said. She was talking about, because it's an interview in Newsweek. And they said, well, what about people who have trouble with sex and sin? And she said, when it benefits them, they will ignore the church. And, something like that, I don't think you're going to have a problem. John Williams says, everyone talks about the good women, but besides the women, was the entertainment like? Oh, man, it's off the chart. Especially if you live in Manila, John. I mean, if you like live music, you can't beat the Philippines. It's like, I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all think, oh, you crazy, Calvin. I was stationed in Millington, Tennessee, and we used to go to Memphis all the time. And it's like something like that, man. A lot of these places, the entertainment is that good. I saw the last time I was in Manila, in that little Mall of Asia, right across from Mall of Asia, there's like a little carnival strip. There's a Ferris wheel, restaurant, clubs. Every club has a group, but this one group was like off to its side for some reason. I don't know why they were in front of the restaurant or club. I can't remember, but they were singing. They were doing a medley of stylistic songs. And you know the stylistic sound exactly like it. And they were calling people out of the audience to sing with them, man. It seemed like everybody called up there could sing. I don't know if it was scripted or not, but the entertainment's off the charts here, man. It's all sorts of things to do here. Rock was saying the other day, I'm bored. Yeah, you bored because it's really like a pandemic. It has nothing to do with the Philippines, because if this place was opened up, man, that's the reason why people come over here and stay as long as they do. Yeah, the entertainment's out. It's whatever you want to do, it's over here. Everything that I've seen in America is basically over here to do, but I can't say that everything I see in the Philippines is in America. So you're not going to be disappointed. And if you're in Cebu, if you go to the IT Park, man, on Friday night and Saturday night, thank me later, man. The entertainment is crazy here. You got to realize the Philippines America in the West has a great influence on the Philippines and the entertainment and things like that. You will really be shocked. And because it's so affordable, you can do it all over here. Don't make me roll out of it. Thanks for the super chat. He says, I suffered a spinal cord injury over 29 years ago. I have used a ED med since then, over 29 years. When your lady Peanut understands you and she goes that extra effort and says Mahako, you're in the mood to take a pill. I hear you, man, and thanks for sharing this, by the way. He suffered a spinal cord injury 29 years ago, and he uses a ED med since then, over 29 years. But he's got an understanding woman. That's what I'm saying. If you got an understanding woman, which most of them are, and you just be straight up with her, once she starts having feelings for you, your happiness goes way up here over hers. She just don't want you fooling around. The Beach of Life said something the other day. He said, when you chatting with these women, they want to know who else you chatting with. Are you coming and when? That's really it. Wanderer of the Wasteland says, what? My girl I'm talking to over there don't know the stylistic, but I put her on to some Isley brothers. And believe it or not, man, my ex, when I first met her, when I first went to her house, we met in Cebu, but when I went to Zamboanga for the first time, don't you know, when I walked into the house, they were playing Betcha by Golly Wow. That is stylistic. That's when I knew that, yeah, this is going to be okay. Okay, he says, hey, Cal. James Johnson said, hey, Calvin, I did my basic training in Fort Knox and was stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. You should see a young lady in Elizabethtown. Yeah, Elizabethtown's about an hour from Louisville. Fort Knox about an hour. Fort Campbell's a little bit further west, down at Western Kentucky Parkway. Pumpkin Joe's Philippines said, yeah, we'll bring you Beach of Life. I love the John says, I believe you. One time I heard some of the firepower from the NPA when they were fighting the military in the mountains. Now, who is that? What are you talking about? Christoph Wolfgang says, don't worry about pleasing your woman. Just let me know, and I'll stand in for you, my civic duties. Yeah, but remember, guys, it's all about you now. Stop thinking about, I know you're going to say, oh, it's being selfish, but a lot of times, man, we have to start thinking about what it is we want, what it is going to make us happy, man. It's not like it's halftime. With most of us, it's the third and fourth quarter of our life, man. You got to start worrying about your needs and everything more often. My Philippines exploration says you really won't be disappointed, especially given the fact that maybe you'll get way more attention from women. Even if you are middle-aged, it can get scary. I said that before my Philippine exploration. I says, they talk about the rock star treatment. That's because people stare at you a lot over here. And if you can't stand that attention, you probably don't want to come over here because you're going to get a lot of attention. And a lot of guys, they can't deal with it. I know when I first came over here, it made me uncomfortable at first. They'll watch you all the way till you put the food in your mouth. Hoopa says, flight attendants. Oh, Rock Harmon, his wife was a flight attendant. See, Rock's one of them guys, he's going to get what he wants. He's going to get exactly what he wants. He's one of them guys where he slaps you in the face when you say, oh, you can't get the ones, you can't get the flight attendants, you can't get the real estate agents and all of that. Well, that's what he's got. And a lot of men over here got that, guys. It's whatever you want. I didn't want the flight attendant because it's really not about them. It's about me now. I'm going to be happy. You know, I want a woman that's intelligent, that I can talk to, that understands me and can get things done. If she happens to look like a flight attendant or something like that, then hell, that's just an extra. But And then, when I roll over, she's right there, ready, willing, waiting. See, that's what I want right now at 58. Now, will that change later on? I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, Brasilero Shelton. I saw you up. I thought that was the same one. Let me go back. I can get it. I apologize, brother. Yeah. But it just depends on what you're looking for, guys. But you can get it. Oh, okay, here it is. I'm sorry. Thanks for this super chat, Brasilero Shelton. He's a big Brazil guy, by the way. I've been to Brazil. I've been to Cartagena, Colombia. And as far as beautiful women and beaches and all that, it's up there with the Philippines. But as far as being as welcoming, they don't compare to the Philippines. You're genuinely welcomed here. And that's what puts the Philippines at the top for me. You said to take your time, which I totally agree. But if you meet someone and it doesn't work out, you mean that I'll have to just leave and go somewhere else? Seems extreme, Cali Cal. I'll worry about that. Well, it is extreme because, and it doesn't make sense, I know. But nothing makes sense over here. It's just the way it is. Because, see, you looking at it from a totally different viewpoint. You're looking at it as, okay, I'm just going to go on to the next one. But to her, there may never be a next one. You may be her ticket out of here, depending on who it is. If she's trying to get out of her, man, they take this dating a whole lot more serious than we do. This dating online stuff. They're on the hunt. See, we're playing games, but they're on the hunt, man. And that's why it's like that, Brasilero Shelton. And it may seem extreme to you because that's our Western thinking. That's all we got. That's what some guy says. Hey, I'm from the West. I think Christoph Wolfgang said that. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it's going to work over here. That's why you can't understand it. But yeah, she's not playing. You're playing. We're playing. She's not. The Craig 777 says, look like he might have to bid for a night off. Yeah, they're going to. That's one thing that if you're able to, if you've got fireworks, man, when you get over here to the Philippines, it's going to be like the 4th of July every night. But if you don't, hey, what's wrong with Thanksgiving? I like Thanksgiving, to be honest with you. Yeah, Mark. He says, Roger and Ismail, you talk to them well, they're bringing the nitty-gritty to a whole other level. I wish I could talk to them, and if they're listening now, I'm going to say, I can't tell you what topics to talk about. It's your channel. But if you continue to make topics like that, you're going to attract, this place is going to have to open up pretty soon. And I just think that you're going to attract a clientele a creepy clientele. You don't want a channel full of sex pets. I mean, they're going to be there anyway, but hell, you're feeding them with a lot of this stuff. But I'm proud of them, believe it or not. They've made a 180. Because when I met them, they had over 11,000 subscribers, but they wasn't getting any views. And they came to Booby's birthday party, and I just said, hey, man, you're a Filipino. And the Philippines being one of the most popular genres on YouTube right now, you can give them something I can't give them. I didn't say do that, but whatever works for them. But, they've got access to people I don't have access to, especially young, beautiful women. Ismael's got a lot of beautiful friends that, I mean, they could take their channel to a whole other level. Hey, Retard in Bahal, what's going on? Oh, okay, this is good. He says, A. Hodge says, see, Great Britain just done away with all the mandates, travel restrictions, supposedly. Hopefully, the United States and the Philippines follow suit. I think as soon as these Omicron numbers drop down dramatically, like they are everywhere else, I think that's what they're going to do. He says, what caused the heart attack? I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, Jose Villanova, excuse me. Was it the food John was consuming? I don't know. He says he has a history of heart disease. Neil Stewart says, Calvin, you are working out, and that will get you an 80% to maintain your power. Yeah, that's what I was reading, but eventually, though, I don't care how well you eat, it prolongs it. It prolongs the inevitable. But eventually, that stuff is going to go down like that. And it's better to be with somebody that kind of understands that than somebody that's going to push you out the door because of that. Hey, James K. Yeah, John just got off of here. He said, if you can't get it up, your munch game better be on point. It really, and I'm going to tell you something. You bring that up, that Thanksgiving up, and you could be mediocre in that, and, you get a standing ovation from the Filipino because she's not used to that. Now, as more and more foreigners come over here and start introducing them to that, and, as the young Filipinos over here try to keep up with us, yeah, but normally they're shocked. You gotta realize my girlfriend was 36 when I met her. She said she had 2 orgasms in her whole life. She has one every night here with me. Oh, I'm sorry, David. Let me read that. He said, thanks, Calvin, for your great insights, and all the best to you, John, for speedy recovery. Yeah. Man, I'm so I'm worried about John. I don't need to be worried about nothing over here, man, but I'm worried because I don't think that they addressed that the way that they should have. I'm not a doctor, though. I could be wrong. But hell, if you show up in the emergency room in Louisville, Kentucky with a heart attack, they're going to do something. Hey, Joseph Schaefer, he said, Calvin, I'm 67. I still want it every day. Well, see, you're our hero, man. You're the one we want to talk to. Joseph, to be honest with you. James Johnson says, you are right. They are on the hunt. Going through that now, the constant, are you sure you're coming? And always talking about getting her documents together. Had to tell her to slow down, only been 7 months. Yeah. And not only has it been 7 months, but have you ever even met her yet? He said, the sex pet's anything that moves his game. Yeah. They got so much to talk about, though. I'm just saying I'd like to see them diversify a little bit because, you're getting it straight from the horse's mouth. And when you got a beautiful wife like he has, you don't want to attract them type of guys to your channel. But at the same time, it's a good business move because I'm sure they're getting thirst dollars over there now because he's got a beautiful wife. If you never seen Esmeralda, she's beautiful, man. And she's young and she's untouched really, by this Western world. She's never dealt with a foreigner before. And, you just don't want to attract, you're attracting too much competition to your channel when you do that. I don't know her, John Williams. Jose says, this is a random thought, Calvin. You ever heard of a foreigner running from his Filipino because she was too hot? to handle? No, but what they'll usually do is fold the tent. And I had a neighbor like that before. He'll just fold the tent and just let her do what she wants to do. And that's what he did. They're still together, but he basically threw up his hands and said, I can't handle it. So, if you want to have a young man on the side, go ahead. Chris Teller, you can buy a shock treatment machine for your penis now and will restore blood flow in most cases in 12 months. You don't have to take Viagra. Yeah. And even then, Chris, let me ask you, remember, guys, if it's just going to give you a hard on, what's the point? You just want to have sex just to have it? Or you want it because you're hungry for it? Having a hard on doesn't make you want to have sex. You just got a hard on. You're just sitting there going back and forth like a damn machine. I got to be in the mood. And it's good to, they talk about the natural Viagra over here, man. I'm going to be honest with you. In my case, it wasn't that I really had ED. It was all up here with me. My American wife was not turning me on anymore. She picked up a lot of weight. She just wasn't attracted to me anymore in that way. Is that shallow of me? Probably, yeah, but it was just true. And it affected my sexual performance. But when I got over here and started dealing with these young, beautiful women, man, I haven't looked back. I haven't stopped. So, yeah, that's really the only Viagra I'm interested in, the natural Viagra. Brian Penis, I'm a new subscriber. You're so honest and entertaining. Keep it going. Hey, thanks, Brian, man. Where you from, Brian? Welcome to the channel, by the way. Road to the Philippines, see? He says, I had more sex with my Filipina in the 3 weeks I was with her than I did in the last 5 years with my ex-wife. Absolutely. And thanks, Danny, for sharing this, man. These been boots on the ground over here. And it's true. If you got fireworks to bring over here, it's going to be the 4th of July. But, there's nothing wrong with having a Thanksgiving meal. Oh, okay. A short province girl. I'm not familiar with her. I've seen most of the videos I've seen. She's doing probably what I would do if I had a pussy. I'd be in a damn bikini splashing around. And if I was making, prior to my channel, if I was earning $4 a day, I can't blame them. I don't knock YouTubers. We've got a community, and I think we should support each other. But listen, James. James Johnson. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. He says, no, have not met her yet and told her that I'm not looking to get married, but she thinks she would change my mind. Yeah, see, you're walking a thin line, man. Be careful. She's not playing. And see, what's going to happen is if you get over here and she's not who you think she is, she don't smell the way you like, she don't taste the way you like, you're going to be in trouble because she's already committed. See? Yeah, you're right. You're right, Harold. It was with me. It was a lot mental. He says, doing 20 push-ups. He said, be right back doing 20 push-ups to boost my libido. Yeah. That's what I read, Thomas John. And that's why, I live for the day, man. I don't look down the road. I don't look in the past. I live for the day, man. And, I can get it up now and, and I'm going to use it. Now, what happens on down the line, I'm just going to have to deal with it. But it's the 4th of July for me right now. Hey, Michael Alcantara, thanks for the super chat. He said, hey, Cal, forget the dating sites. I'm smitten by a Filipina that was one of your 1,000 peso pandemic giveaway winners. Yeah, it's funny that a lot of my winners are women. I guess because I don't know how that even works out. The spin wheel does that. But those are just normal Filipinos that a lot of them aren't even online. Uh, but yeah, you probably are. I mean, now remember, they have to come over here to get the money sometimes. Good thing I'm smitten by my woman already. I mean, I really am, man. I'm not just saying that. I've got a woman that really I would fantasize about, especially her body. She's got a sexy body, man. And, you know, at 58, that's all you can ask for, man. She's intelligent. She understands me, man. We get along. And I promise you, man, you know, I got eyes and I look, but I don't have a roving eye. I don't have a roving eye because I know I'd be rolling the dice, man. I promise you. Hey, Sharky Phelps, he said, hey, Cal, I just picked up one of your cups. Nice cups. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to have to check back on that site. Hey, Perry Henriksen, he said, just so happy you decided to start Sunshine Shoulders. This is something special for me, Calvin, learning so much from it. Thank you. And that was my goal, Perry. When I was looking out there, I just didn't see anybody really talking about what would really be like for just an average Joe like me in the Philippines. It was either way up here, you know, it was somewhere in that sugary universe. And I was like, man, guys are really going to be shocked when they get over here. Somebody needs to tell them the truth, the 360. It's more pros than cons, but damn, you know, I would say it's somewhere in the middle, man. You know, some of these videos, man, they're just too good. Now, Philippines Exploration says you don't need the blue pill here, man. You'll get up naturally once you're about to lay it down on a young, beautiful night. Yeah, if you're still, because a lot of times, see, here's another study that they did, believe it or not. You know, when Viagra first came out, they promoted that in 70% of the users, they would get the, you know, the expected results. But really, it's more like 50%. And it's mostly in men in their 50s. 60s and up, it's not really helping them as much. This is the clinical results of Viagra. And again, why would you I would rather my Philippines Exploration have it like what you're saying, where I'm wanting the woman is naturally arousing me, than to have some pill that, by the way, has to go through my whole bloodstream, and that's what causes the problems to begin with. Just giving me a hard on like a machine. I mean, I don't want that. Dana Jones said he better pack light and don't tell her when he's coming to the Philippines. I believed it. Yeah, I think you need to be careful, John Williams. No, James Johnson. Because it sounds like she's already she got her hooks in you, bro. Hey, Jose Villanova, man, thank you so much. He said, thanks for reading my comments. I watch YouTube videos of Dr. Sten Ekberg on health, just in case anyone's interested. I'm 36, but I want to live a long life, so I'm prepping now. And that's the best thing to do. What we do is we show up at the doctor with a heart attack, a stroke, and then we want to talk about, well, the Philippines doesn't have good health care. Well, what about self-care, man? And he said, yeah. He said, stand up and shoots dust. I just don't see the point, man. Now, if you needed to satisfy your woman or she's going to leave, yeah, then you may want to take that stuff. But if you just want to walk around for 4 hours, you know, with a tent a self-made tent in your damn pants, then I don't see the point. You know, you're gonna be a prisoner in your own house. You can't go outside because until that thing wears down. Booby, get out of here. He says, hey, what? Hey, Brazil shouting. So, how do you go about finding a nice one there and not be threatened that you have to leave if you encounter someone that you find out she's not what you want? What's just something, you know, you got to use your common sense and intuition, Brazilero. You know, it's not going to take you long to know if, you know, if she's going to be okay. If this, you know, if it's going to be, when she starts getting documents together like the woman that John Johnson is dealing with right now, James Johnson, rather, see, that's when you know that's a red flag. That's when you know. See, if she's not doing all of that, you probably don't have a whole lot to worry about. But she's already telling her family about you and, you know, hey, send me money so I can get my passport and my and all of that, then you probably can see that if I leave her alone, I'm going to have problems. Hey, Flip Wilson says, Cal, do you have another method to receive donations? I'd rather you have the 30% YouTube takes from Super Chats. I've got a PayPal that I put on all of my videos, or you can do it remittance, you know, in any way that you desire, really, to be honest. Quintessential one said, yeah, Cal, you're the Harriet Tubman for us in the USA. But what did Harriet Tubman say? I could have freed more slaves if they only knew they were slaves. See, a lot of my friends, they don't, you know, they're happy over there. They don't see it as a problem. Would you recommend a guy go there being sex drunk? Well, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know what that means, but if you're saying desperate, you're gonna be in trouble when you come over here desperate because you're gonna get the wrong one. I would say have some kind of control when you come over here. And it just depends on who you are. If you just come over here and you want to, you know, like that guy Victor Payne said, you know, you're not really here for a serious relationship, but he said you don't want sex either. Well, I don't know many men like that to come over here like that. I met a gentleman in Cebu in 2019 at the condo unit I was staying. We were working out together, and he was here. He said he didn't come here for a woman. He came here to, you know, to increase his diving hours or something. Had something to do with diving. But anyway, the next morning I saw him leaving his condominium with a woman. So, you know, that's just a consequence. I don't know if you're a man and you can come over here and just be here without eventually seeing a woman. MV4463 said, I can't have any more kids. I put that out first. Helps prevent a Filipino scammer. Yeah. Well, not so much a Filipino scammer because they're still going to ask money. And you can still lay down with her because you can't have kids. And that's the red flag that you probably need to look for, really. And a lot of us don't pay any attention. We think it's the 4th of July when she does that. But it could be something dangerous behind that. It could be what Brazilero Shelton is afraid of. And see, that's another thing. If you lay down with women over here, man, it's different, man. They think totally different than you. You lay down with a woman over here, man, that's serious business over here. Adam Chenoweth says so. The people have to wear sunblock on their feet. do the sandals, head to toe lotion. I thought lotion was expensive. What's the economical solution? I've never used it on my feet, but if you're going to be out, if you go to a beach, you know you're going to be out in that sun for any period of time, Adam, I would say use it from head to toe. Actually, I put lotion on my feet and Vaseline, but I don't put sunblock. And the only time I use sunblock is when I'm going to the beach. Because usually I go, okay, if I walk from my house to the corner, to the street to catch a tricycle, now I'm in the tricycle, I'm protected from the sun. But if I know that, say for instance, I'm going to the beach, I'm waiting for a bus, a series liner, and I'm going to be out there for a while, yeah, I'm going to have sunblock. I'm going to have a ball. I don't wear a ball cap, but I tell you to wear a ball cap. Sunglasses, I definitely wear. Good sunglasses, not the cheap ones. Yeah, that's the economical solution, is don't cheat yourself on those three things. Good shoes, good sunblock, and good sunglasses. And I'm going to even put a good ball cap. It's going to expose you if you do over here. This sun over here is no joke, man. It's not Texas. It's not Florida. I don't care if you're purple or if you're bright white. If you're out here in it long enough, it's going to burn you and it's not going to just peel you. He says, my engine does not work with these overweight American women. Me either. And it's all in my mind. You know, I want something like this. I'm sorry. Even if it's not 36, 26, 36, I want something that's shapely. I just always like, my first love was a slim, thick woman. You know, she wasn't skinny. She was slim, and she had some curves to her. And that's just what I've been addicted to. That's just my choice. He says out there, Adam Chenoweth says out there, full-size bathtubs, I'm seeing nothing but standing showers everywhere. Yeah, it just depends on where you, how much money you spend on a hotel room, Airbnb. The more you spend, the more likely they're going to have a full-size bath. But otherwise, you're going to take the shower. And my mother told me, even though we didn't even have a shower. We always had a tub, you know. So when Filipinos come to America and they come to a place like my mother's house, they just see that tub. She's going to be like, all I see is full-size tubs. I don't see any stand-up showers anywhere. My mother always told me that a shower will get you cleaner because the dirt, you don't sit there and soak in your own dirt and filth. Even though I didn't have a choice, I had to take a bath. Yeah, that's a good question to ask the doctor. You're right. Now, I've heard this before, John, about watermelon, pomegranate, drink water, and exercise, cut out carbs. Yeah, and eventually, though, guys, the inevitable is going to happen. But you're right. To keep you going right now and to prolong the inevitable, you're right. But I don't know. You know, I've got a subscriber. He's 87, but he's rich and he's in great shape. He's actually from Trinidad. He's still breaking backs. Now, he never told me his secret, but he is. Hey, Lamont Smith, thanks for that super chat. He says, hello, Calvin. Do you have any videos of your son's village with new houses you're building them? Not yet. We're still waiting on the materials. We ordered the materials. As soon as he gets there, we're building one house at a time because there's not that many. It's only like 4 guys up there. And see, they're donating the labor. I'm paying for the material. They're donating the labor. So we're going to build one house at a time. And as soon as it gets started, I'm going to be there for every hollow block. Because really, that's going to be emotional, man. You know, if you looked at that video, you'll see that what they're living in now, the one, Judith's, I think that's her youngest brother. Yeah, his name is Darrell. And you see me hollering to him in that video. Man, it's like a box. It's like a wooden box. There's no windows. There's no ventilation. I mean, I don't even know how they survive in that thing. Go look at it. Go look at that again. Hey, John Franks, thanks for the super chat. He says, I'm thinking of hiring a full-time, full-service masseuse that I can send to get checked out semi-monthly, mutually beneficial with no strings. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something. You're probably not going to have a problem with that. You got to realize over here that you can get a 1 hour massage, a good one, by the way, for about $5. I couldn't believe it. And I mean, it hasn't went up much. When we were staying in Bacala last weekend, was that last weekend? Yeah. Now this is in a hotel. It was $400 for 1 hour, so that was $8. And I mean, they really do a good job. You're talking about 2 hours for about $12, man. You can't beat that. He said, how's John's wife holding together? Well, you know, I'm sure she's a nervous wreck. You know, she don't know what to do. Excuse me. You know, she's 28, and her husband, you know, has had a heart attack, a debilitating heart attack. Yeah, she's probably scared to death. Everything's riding on, you know, literally riding on John's health and recovery for her. Hey, I already told you, Marlo North, if you wasn't listening, he had a heart attack. He had a series of heart attacks. I told you that on the last question you asked. John had a series of heart attacks, but I don't really know. I'm not the doctor. I don't have his charts in front of me. And if I did, I couldn't tell you all of that. But he told us. He came on here and said, I had a series of heart attacks. You know, they were trying to stabilize him. They never stabilized him. So now he's over in Cebu getting a second opinion. Hopefully to get an angioplasty. See what a blockage is and all of that. Road to the Philippines says, hey, when I was with my Filipino, she let me have it anytime I wanted, even at 3 a.m. He said, my ex, on the other hand, would think she was punishing me by withholding sex. But in actuality, I didn't really want it. Yeah, it got to the point where, you know, you get tired of begging, man. And then by the time she decides to give in and say, okay, Danny, you can have it, you're like, F you, I don't want it. Yeah, John had a heart attack from his own words. Yeah, I already did answer him, and I'm sorry, he must have missed it. Hey, Jerome Morgan, what's going on? Now, come on, Jerome. He said, what is breaking back? I'm blowing out her back. Come on, Jerome. I think you know what that means. Yeah, I feel bad for it too. James Johnson found a round trip ticket for 1182, 34-hour flight, not going to get trapped in a marriage. Yeah, I think, you know, when my first trip to the Philippines, man, they got me good because I went through a travel agent, man, and my initial plans was to be here for a week. It cost me $2,500, and I didn't know any better. And it was for, you know, the Korean Air. But I'm gonna tell you, I only had like a 1 hour layover or something, and then on to Cebu, and then a 1 week in the Crown Regency, which was a nice hotel, but $2,500, man, it's way too much. The next time I went, the second time I went, probably cut that in half because I did it myself. And I stayed in a pension house instead of a hotel, which is no difference really. I don't know why they call them pension houses. Does anybody know why they call them pension houses when they simply hotels to me? Hey, John Gomez, he's laughing because he knows that's funny. He said, what is, I think Jerome Morgan's playing with me. He said, what does breaking backs mean? I think he knows John Morgan. He said, Adam Jones said, Calvin, I wonder if a two-story place would have been better to take in the volcano. Would you be able to build a crow's nest on the roof and make that your reading spot? I don't know with the way he made this roof. The initial plan, see, he's got other plans. He's already drawn it out if we want to expand, but it's going to be wider like this, not like this. But you're right about that volcano, but I've got a pretty good view already. And she's got some real close friends who live in Canlaon. The parents do. They live around the corner. And we could go right as close as you can get to it without dying. He said a 34-hour flight. Wow. Well, that's a layover. Dad says, "Hey, got Haven. Good to see you. We ain't seen you in a while, Dad." She said, "I'm sorry to hear about John. Oh, my God. Hello to the moderators. How's your family, Cal? We're doing good. Everybody's but me. And I had it earlier. It's had those old Omicron type symptoms. And I was just going to say what it is. We got Omicron, but they would never say it. They're scared to death to say that. But yeah, it's Omicron. Eventually we've all been vaccinated, but that's really what it is. But yeah, we're okay now. Hey, Chocolate Man in Thailand. He said, "What's good, bro? You just popped up in my head, so I thought I'd say what's up." Hey, thanks, man. And man, I tell you what, boy, I watched a couple of them videos about it. Zoom to Thailand. Man, I tell you, I don't live like him, man. He's on another level than me. I'm just a regular guy, man. This guy's on a whole other level than me. But I think that's part of my appeal. I don't know. I do know guys that live like that over here. Hell, Rock Harmon, Iskandari TV, they live like that in the Philippines. I don't, though. But I enjoy, it gives me he's giving me another view of Thailand instead of just the beaches, which a lot of them guys do. Alpina R says, I sure don't feel like but about to get this PT in before it gets late. I hear you, man. Be careful. He said, "Get at it, young man." John Gomez says, "How about this?" He said, "How about getting all in the guts?" Calvin Yusuf said, "Calvin, is inflation through the roof over there due to the pandemic?" Yeah, certain things, especially food, gas, fuel, electricity. Yeah, it's crazy. There's been gas hikes 3 weeks in a row over here. I mean, in San Carlos, according to my girlfriend, they got the highest gas anyway, and you can see it. I noticed it when she told me that. He said, "Zoom to Thailand is the truth." Yeah, it's a good show. He catches a lot of flack because hell, he's taking advantage of his options, man. We didn't make the rules. Yeah, he's got great videos and stuff, but I'm just a basic guy, man. I just want, I'm not gonna trade my life for nothing. I'm happy, man, what I'm doing over here, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I think most of the guys who come over here are going to end up living like me versus that Zoom to Thailand. But man, I really like his editing and all that, man. He got quality stuff going on. I'm a fan, by the way. I saw where he did that where Willie D, see, he's getting famous, by the way. When you got people like Willie D making videos about you, man, you becoming famous. But I don't see why, you know, I don't understand why when somebody, you know, practices their options, goes somewhere else, and, you know, if he's successful in Thailand, I'm pretty sure he's successful wherever he came from. You don't just come over here and they hit you with some magic potion and you become successful. Okay, how far is the hospital where John is? From Cebu, so here to Cebu is about 2.5 hours. I was talking to one of my tennis buddies yesterday. He's John's neighbor. He said that maybe John may move to Cebu since the hospital's there, the doctors are there, and I would think that would be a good thing for him to do if he's not going to go back to America. I would have to be somewhere where my cardiologist is. And Cebu's a nice place. I love Cebu. But now that, I found, really discovered, well, not discovered, but stumbled up on San Carlos City because of my girlfriend, I'm staying here, man, because, I can go to Cebu if I want to. I can go to Bacala, Dumaguete, Bohol. It's not that far. Hey, what's up, Percy? Kevin Pinckney says Chocolate Man in Thailand is the real deal. And Love Daz too, yeah. Yeah. And anytime you can show us another way to live, I got to tip my hat to you. It takes a lot of courage, we were talking about alpha and beta the other day, because for some reason, people seem to think that only losers show up overseas or in Southeast Asia, man. It's the opposite. I've never met a loser over here, guys. I've never met a loser. The guys I play tennis with, man, okay, the one I told you is John's neighbor. He used to be my neighbor. He's a mining engineer, right? But not just a mining engineer. He's got a visa that the Philippine government only awards 5 every year. This is not a loser, guys. Okay. The other guy I play tennis with, he owns a popular resort here. These guys, man, are not losers, man. And most of us show up here after we've retired. So we've already made it in our own countries. I don't get that. Oh, you can't get a woman there. And most of us, by the way, have been married and divorced maybe once or twice before we ever get here. So you can throw all of that out the window, man. I don't get it. I've never met a loser over here. I mean, John is invested and saved. John is no joke, man. Trust me, okay? He's not a loser. I don't know where they get that. Let me see. Cal Devin said, "Did you see my last post?" Curious. What did you? The last one I seen, you said, "Hey, what's up?" to Beach. Here's what. This is the only one I saw of you, Cal, right here. Go ahead and put it up there now. He said, "I heard the price of lechon is through the roof." How much is a lechon now, honey? Has it went up or same? 1,000?
6,000.
Wow, 6,000. What did it used to be?
Before 4,000.
Okay, 4,500. Now it's 6,000 for a lechon. So yeah, see, the food has went up. I mean, it's ridiculous, the food. But a lot of stuff like labor and rent. But for a foreigner, you're not going to really, to you, everything's going to look like a deal anyway. Unless you've been over here for a considerable period of time, you're not going to know the difference. You're not going to know the difference. He said, did Willie D make a video about you? No, he made one about Zoom to Thailand. I'm not famous as Zoom to Thailand. Sammy Davis says, I found the cheapest flights on Cheapo Air. That's what I did when I came over here, Sammy, in 2018. He said, my fares from Dallas were from $690 to $960 with one check bag. Last trip was $919. Power's cheapest from LA. Yeah, I went to Cheapo Air. The only thing I didn't like about Cheapo Air, I had to pay extra for my seats. But I think, I forget how much I paid. $39 for 3 seats. $39 total for 3 seats. Because I like to sit right behind the wing, somewhere in the middle of that plane. You know, you just don't feel the turbulence as much. And maybe that's the reason why this last trip, the seatbelts, fashion seatbelt sign never came on, man, from Chicago all the way to Hong Kong, man. It's the smoothest flight I've ever had. No, it's not. Come on, Cal. I ain't still reading it. I'm sorry. I can't go back way back there like that, man. Come on, you guys, man. Y'all be tripping. Okay, Mr. Vega says, hey, Changma Hospital with Johnny's has a good reputation. Yeah. From what I hear anyway. Remember, one of my subscribers reached out to me, and then he reached out to John. He said, he's got the same situation with John, and he says, hey, get out of that Dumagetti Hospital. And then come to find out that it would have been the first angioplasty operation they've done. And I don't blame John. I wouldn't have been the guinea pig either. I mean, that would have been really scary. He said, Beach of Life said, Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. Yeah. Uh-huh. He said, no, try Scott's cheap flights, Sky Scanner, and Hopper flights. It's great. Yeah, I found, well, we just had a big one. Actually, I don't know how much it actually cost because when we did the home warming, we had the lechon. I mean, you see the food, it was $8,500 for everything. But that's about right, especially if you're in Luzon. I love lechon. I would say that's right. Yeah, I don't know why. I think because you're flying over, are you flying over the Pacific Ocean when you're coming from LA? He says, the person said, I was on Cheapo Air last night. The cheapest flight to Manila from Houston was $1,300. I think that's going to change. Dana Middleton was talking about that. And, a lot goes into these prices. Remember, it's not normal times. There's no way that you're going to get a normal price right now. I would say there's only a smidgen. First of all, there's no tourists really coming to the Philippines right now. So that's a lot of tickets that aren't being bought. Stop, booby. Okay, look. Say hello. Say hello. Now get out of here. Yeah, oh. Take your chair with you. Yeah, I would wait, man. To buy a ticket or even look at a ticket, get her, because you're going to get discouraged. I'm telling you, my last ticket in 2018 December, and this is December, but I bought it in October. Quit it, get her. Was less than $600. About $600 when you when I bought that, paid for that damn ticket. When I paid for those seats. Philip Rogers said, definition of a loser as a person is a person that never takes a chance. So moving to the Philippines seems to me like a big chance. Yeah, I don't know where they come up with this stuff, Philip. Oh, okay. K. Dallas says supply and demand. Yeah, and I don't think there's a lot of demand right now for the Philippines. He says, hello, baby. Yeah, I'm just going to wait. I would wait, guys, because it's going to confuse you. It's going to discourage you. You're going to be like, man, I'm not going over that. Because even when I got that ticket right there, I never paid $1,000 for a ticket. I mean, never. From like the first couple of times I went to the Philippines when, before I knew what I was doing. After that, I never paid $1,000 for a ticket. And that's a fact. He said that was for May. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of, for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know what I clicked on, but on my Facebook, I'm getting a lot of advertisements for condominiums in Iloilo. I like Iloilo City and the province. It's underrated, man. And a lot of people don't even go to Iloilo. They never go there. They stay in Manila, Cebu, Davao, Dumaguete. But Iloilo, guys, listen to me. When you come to the Philippines, if you anywhere near Bacolod, Dumaguete, even Cebu, man, go to Iloilo, man. You're gonna be shocked. It's an option that you should consider when even visiting the Philippines, because there's white sand beaches all around there. Boracay is only about 4 hours away by van. It's a nice place, man. One of the cleanest cities. This year, it tied with Baguio and San Carlos City as the cleanest cities in the Philippines. Yeah, now see, it's more like it, Mark. He said 835 out of San Francisco round trip. Yeah. But yeah, I would check out Iloilo, guys. That's like a hidden gem. Unless your girlfriend's from there, you probably never been there. Grumpy Dude Brian says, if you can book months in advance and not around holidays, you can find deals from almost any U.S. city under $1,000. Yeah. I actually bought my tickets on my credit card in October, 2 months in advance. And man, it was me, my wife, and my son. It was less than $1,800. What made it $1,800 was when I bought them damn seats. But I gotta have my seat by the wing, man. Hey, he 90. Is that her 90? Her 90. He says I had angioplasty and aneurysm operated at 55. Wow, and I'm 69 now. You'll be just fine, John. Take it easy. Prices up here in Canada. Sure, it's still much better in the Philippines. Yeah. I tell you what, you had an aneurysm and a angioplasty, man. You better play the lottery, brother. Because everybody that I know that's had an aneurysm eventually died. That I know, but I don't know many people. 3. And the last one was my American wife's first cousin. And she had it, and within a year she died. She never was the same, though. Hey, John Franks, thanks for the super chat. He says, I'm wondering if I can grab a military hot space available flight. I'm not sure. But there's a whole lot more military over in the Philippines now in 2022 than it was in 2009 when I started coming over here. 2000, let me see, my son was born in 2012. That's when it started really ramping up again with the U.S. military showing back up here in the numbers that they are now. No, I'm not in Cebu. I left Cebu after the typhoon, but yeah, I love dried mangoes and mango juice. Cebu makes the signature dried mangoes, but I like the green ones better. The sour ones, they're expensive now too, for some reason. Daz is hanging out. Haven says if you want to return to the Philippines, you got to check if the area where you're moving is flooding. Near a river or water dam, these water forms can overflow and flood your community. That's a great point. And it goes along with what I was saying about that video I did yesterday. Decide where you're going to live. That's the first place. That's the first thing you should do before you even, decide to come over here. Where in the Philippines? Do you know about the weather patterns of flooding, like she says? Is it in Typhoon Alley? Has a history of earthquakes? Is a volcano near? See, don't just come over here and say, "Oh, I'm gonna move over here," just because your buddy did it. Find out what's gonna be good for you. Cal says, if you don't feel welcome in Iloilo, then you really need to stay at home. Women here are more Spanish looking. Yeah, Iloilo is just a special place, man. And it took me a long time. It was 2018 when I made my first trip. No, it wasn't. It was actually 2017 when I made my first trip to Iloilo. And I was shocked. When I got off the ferry from Bacolod, because Bacolod and Iloilo is like San Carlos City and Bacolod. It's like a 45-minute ferry ride. But Iloilo, I call them the Iloilo and Bacolod, I call them the twin cities, but Iloilo is like the Robin to Bacolod is the Batman. Bacolod is like, it's more grittier and more grimier than Iloilo. Iloilo is cleaner and more modern. And I love Bacolod. I'm not putting Bacolod down. I'm just trying to give you I call them the twin cities. They're right across from each other. But yeah, they're like night and day. Okay, he can check here. John. Yeah, that's usually where you go now. Normally in South Korea, Japan, Hong Kong. Now, if you fly that United Airlines flight, which is one of the worst as far as I'm concerned, because United Air is so cheap. The last time I flew them was in 2015, and I never fly them again. We flew from Chicago to Hawaii, Hawaii to Guam, Guam to Manila. Now check this out. From Chicago to Hawaii, that's about a 9-hour flight. And then from Hawaii to Guam, all of that is considered domestic flight. So there's no free meals there. You got to buy your meals. You can't pay cash. You got to have a credit card or debit card. Or you're out of luck, man. And I was shocked, man. And I said, yeah, it's the last time. I couldn't believe it. And I'm sitting there waiting, because I didn't eat on purpose. And I always like to eat the food on the plane. And I paid for it. It never came. And I asked the flight attendant, I was like, ma'am, when are you going to, this is in between Chicago and Hawaii. No, if you want something, you got to pay for it. And then I get to Hawaii, same thing. From Hawaii to Guam, that's considered domestic. You got to buy it. We got a meal from Guam to Manila, which, by the way, is the last 3.5 hours of the trip. Hey, Nelia Whitaker, you said, hello, friends from USA. Are you from the USA, or are you saying hello, friends from the USA? Evro Tatum McField says, green mango salad in my country, Honduras, costs $1.50 per bag with black pepper, salt, and vinegar. Yeah. Oh, man. Now here it's, I think it's 10 pesos if you get the right green mango. Oh, man. I eat, man, I don't eat it. They'll put the salt in there and they'll put the soy sauce in there. If they're sour, real sour, Afro, I'll use that salt and soy sauce. But if it's kind of got that tart, like sweet taste to it, I just eat it just like that. But we were talking about the dried mango. Chris Taylor said, for sure, Calvin, important where you choose to live. Manila, polluted cesspool, Cebu, and southern besides untouched jewels. Yeah, you got to do some research and find out where you want to live. And if it's going to be suitable for you. You know, people automatically say Dumagetti, but I'm going to tell you, you know, you're going to get to Dumagetti, and there's going to be some things about Dumagetti you're not going to like. It's a small, big city, but there's a lot that's not really there. But don't just automatically say you're going to move to Dumagetti. Just say, well, I'm going to go to Dumagetti first. I'm going to go to Cebu first and check it out. Because one thing you're going to see about the Philippines, these islands are so close to each other. You may go to Cebu and say, well, you know, let me check out Leyte. Let me check out the island of Leyte, Ormoc City, that people don't ever check out. Ormoc City is another place that people never check out unless your girlfriend lives there. It's a quiet place, man. It's got a lot of great, you know, pineapple plantations and, you know, mountainous regions. It's the safest city, crime-wise, in all of the Philippines. But no one ever goes there. It's not like Southern Leyte and like Tacloban and the eastern, besides region. It gets bad weather, but not as bad as theirs. It usually gets the remnants. Even when Typhoon Yolanda came through, it didn't get hit as hard as you would think it would have gotten hit. But it's just places that people never go to. We stay in that same little area of places. There's a lot of expats who've never been to, a lot of people come to Philippines who've never been to General Santos, where Pacquiao's from. That's an urban city. You know, everybody goes to Davao, and when they go to, because that's where all the other expats live. See, Davao was the Dumagetti before. Dumagetti didn't get popular to 2014, 2015. See, prior to that, all the expats just automatically go to Davao. That's why now if you go to Davao, you'll see a thriving expat community there. Well, the Philippines, you know, and all the expat alley places, even here in San Carlos City, if you worked online, you wouldn't have any problems. Every now and then we'll have a brownout here, but if you go Manila, Cebu, see, Dumagetti has brownouts, man. I didn't know that. See, not the way that I thought they had. They have more brownouts than we have. And that's one thing you got to watch out for. But if you go to, you know, Angeles City, Subic Bay, you know, anywhere up there, Longopo up that way, you're not going to have problems with internet. Especially think about Cebu and IT Park. See, the closer you move to IT Park, the better the internet connection is going to be, in my opinion, because it all operates. That's where all those uh, BP is it IPO or BPO companies. A lot of those call centers is full of those places. And when you go to IT Park, man, you're gonna think like, hell, I'm in LA or somewhere. It's just gonna be like you're gonna see that the Philippines is not. It's not technically a third world country, man. I don't know if this is a third world country, then I mean it's the best third world country I've ever seen. It has third world poverty, guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, but technically it's not a third world country. It's somewhere in between a developed country, a developing country, and a developed country. It's in the same level as a South Africa, believe it or not. It's a few of them. Brazil, Philippines is on that same level. Yeah, Guimaras Island is there too. Yeah, it's really nice. That's white sand. I never was able to go there, Cal, because it was always raining. When I was in June, it was a rainy season, and it was always, the boats wouldn't take you to Guimaras Island. But there is one place right outside Milgao. It's a religious farm. And it's a once in a lifetime place you need to go to. And these people have, Philippines, they're so religious. They've created like a heaven on this big farm. They got a big, gigantic farm. And you go there, you pay to get in. And, you don't have to go to this heaven place that they built. But, you could just roam the farm. But, man, you go to this heaven place and everything is white. First of all, when you come to the heaven place, you come in and you walk up. I think I counted the steps. It's anywhere between 750 and 1,000 steps. It's, and you go up to this heaven thing and you go in heaven and it's crazy, man. It's something you got to see. Yeah, United. I don't like United. Yeah, United sucks, man. I couldn't believe it. I said, the hell with that. Sammy Davis said he can get a hop from Travis Air Force Base to Yokota near Tokyo, or from Travis to Kadena in Okinawa. But the flight from there to PI is still 500. High dollar for hotel in Tokyo. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. You can do that. I think that was just one of my. As a matter of fact, it's one of the funniest videos I've ever made, and it's really a real look on the inside of culture over here from a foreigner's perspective, and it's just some of the. See, some people took it the wrong way, but if you watch that video, man, you're gonna laugh. But at the same time, it's real. It's real. And it's just some things that you're going to have to get used to over here. But yeah, you can do that. I don't care. Hey, thanks, man. That picture looks good. I think it's just the lighting in this new house, to be honest with you. And especially when I'm on my phone and I'm in the living room area. Give me my half a bottle of that I told you 45 minutes ago. You're going to get beat up tonight for that. He says, okay, been in Hawaii and Guam. Oh, okay. So you're here in the Philippines, right? Nelia Whitaker. Okay, thanks. I love the chance that American Airlines offers drink service only unless you're in first class from U.S. mainland to Hawaii. Wow. That's a long flight. Chicago, I think that's 9 hours, as a matter of fact. I mean, you can buy food. Oh, okay, he says he doesn't eat on a plane. Um, it's not like it used to be. When I was in the service and I flew from Chicago to San Diego, man, I ate a Reuben sandwich. This is the best. I mean, they really used to have real good food. They don't have anything like that anymore. But it can get pretty good, especially when you're hungry. Uh, when you're way up there and you're somewhere in between the United States and Asia, and if you fly first class, man, I've flown first class twice, and both times was on Delta, and both times was coming from the Philippines to America. It's like night and day. The food is totally different. It's like really eating in a restaurant, and there's no schedule. You can eat as much as you want. If you get finished with something and tell her you want something else. The pancakes are real pancakes. The silverware is real, metal silverware. It's not that plastic stuff. Everything is free, man. They hang your coat up for you. It's an experience, man. If you ever get a chance. Only way I did it was I got upgraded. I had so many air miles, man. I mean, because I was coming to the Philippines every other month. He said, Korean Airlines, I felt like I was in first class, even though I was just general seating, because you get your own little movie screen with movies you can pick. And they treat you like first class, too. I love Korean Airlines. That was my first time flying to the Philippines, was on Korean Airlines. And it was on one of them 747s. They don't use them anymore. But it makes you feel like you're in first class. Hey, is it the Valentine family? Cal says, if you can afford the ticket, Eva Air Premium Economy. Okay. Flight from Seattle to Taiwan. Oh, seat 45A. Check it out. Thank me later. Oh, okay. She said, yes, living in USA, and I'm a Filipino, born in the Philippines. Oh, evacuated from Mount Pinatubo. Okay, how you doing, Brother Sunshine? All right, okay. If you watch my video of me helping Gail, she was born during the Mount Pinatubo eruption. She'll be 31 this year. No, 32. Let's see. No, 31. She was 30 when I met her. Hey, Gleason Baker, your buddy John's in the hospital. I don't know if you know or not. Yeah, Baraka is right down the road from Iloilo. When we stayed in Iloilo, we stayed in Miagal, a little municipality, and we took the bus, and it was only 5 hours. So if you take a van, drive a car, it's going to be even cheaper. I mean, quicker. Robert Dane says, because I speak Spanish, I will go to Zamboanga, no fear. Well, it's like a mixture. They call it Chabacano. That's where my ex is from. I got a lot of friends there. I'm going to be going there as soon as Omicron cranks down, because I've got to take my son I'm going to take him to Manila, not Cebu, and get his passport renewed. But most of the time, if they don't speak Chabacano, they're speaking Bisaya. Only the true blue Zamboanganians speak that Chabacano. Most of them will speak Bisaya. And then you have there's a big Muslim population down there. They got their own language too. Hey, Franz Prazio Jr., thanks for that super chat. He said, what's up, Cal? Why don't you do the panel more than once a week? I think you should. It's very informative and interesting. I could if I could get. I just can't get enough people to join. I know the black man in the village. I told him he messaged me on the comment. He wants to come on the next one. Um, if I could just get enough people, I'd like to do that dating game, and I may have to have Roger and Ismael to do it because they've got access to the women, not me. My girlfriend keeps me shielded from the girls. She don't want me to interview nobody. But that's booby again. No, get off my phone. Go outside. Hey, when I do this next fence update, y'all gonna be shocked, man. They've already finished the gate in the manway that you walk in. It's nice, man. And it wasn't my idea, by the way. Some guy says that gate looks more like it would be on Lakeshore Drive, not in the Philippines. I said, it wasn't my idea, man. I said, as a matter of fact, it's her brother's idea. But it's turning out good. Hey, Robert Rosales, he said, great channel, Cal. It seems like no one ever mentions Luzon or Northern Luzon. You ever been? I've only been as far as Tagaytay, and it's a magnificent place, Batangas, because I made the decision when I came to the Philippines to fly into Cebu. And because I did, most of my contacts and everything are in the Visayas region. And then, of course, I met my wife. She lived down in Mindanao. That's the only reason. But I very seldom go up in Luzon. But hell, Iskandari TV's up there right now in Cavite. He raves about it. And I watched, I think it was Finn Snow. He was at this one place right at the tip of Northern Luzon where the waves is real bad. And I think it's the closest till you get to Taiwan or somewhere. But I've never been up there. It's the biggest island in the Philippines. Yeah, I've never been. I don't do a lot up there. I'll go to Manila if I have to go to the embassy or something like that. But it's a lot to see here in the Philippines. You can't see it all. I met an American here a couple of years ago. He said, man, I've been here 22 years. He said, I just scratched the surface. But he's one of them adventurer types. He's got a little plane that he flies. He, does that deep sea diving, hiking, and all that stuff like that. See, I'm just a regular guy. I don't do any of that. Really, I need to take in that diving, man. But it's just something about, I don't know, I guess I'm claustrophobic now. It seems to me like I'd be trapped down there. And it's not that these big whales and stuff would bother me, but just being that close to them spooks me. Because when we were we took a trip right before the pandemic, we took a trip, me and Marilyn and the two daughters. We went to Malbois, and you can take a tour and do those whale sharks, those big, gigantic whale sharks, and you can swim right next to them. And I was like, I wanted to do that, but I was like, man, that would scare me to death to be beside one of them things. Oh, okay. Christoph Wolfgang says the best third world is China. Man, if China's a third world, yeah. I mean, that's unbelievable. Yeah, because Wuhan, hell, if you look at video of Wuhan, it looks like Chicago. Some places. What? A ball pen? Here. Yeah, I'm just saying that, I don't know how they come up with deciding what considered a third world and what the criteria and all that is. I'm just saying that if you go to some places here, you'll be like, this isn't Haiti for sure. This isn't the Dominican Republic. you know, in places like that, you know, you were like a real hardcore third world. And I guess because, you know, the United States had so much influence over it for so many years. And you got to realize that the Philippines that we know right now, it's only like, how many, what is it? 70, it'll be 76 years old this year. Now, before you hit me over the head and say, oh, well, Israel's 76. Man, the Philippines and Israel is two totally different countries. And the way that they came about and all of that, that's like apples. You're comparing apples to oranges. The Philippines is only like 76 years young, man. You know, look at America when it was 76. Britain when it was 76 years old, you know. But I just go to some places and I'll be like, wow, you know, it's really impressive. You know, if this is a third world country, go in Ermita, that Ermita area in Manila, and tell me this is third world country. Go to IT Park in Cebu or go to downtown Cebu and tell me this is third world. I'll be like, man, come on. I don't know the criteria. Oh, yeah, there's Hangout. No, it's no big deal. I thought I would get more views on that. But a lot of my best videos, I don't get views. You know, it's just because they're so old. So, yeah, somebody doing that to you, it may help me. It may help regenerate that. Because YouTube has some strange algorithms. My top videos now, right now, I mean, in the last 48 hours are videos I did a year ago, because what they'll do, for some reason, they'll take the video and put it back in rotation somehow. I don't know how they decide which ones to do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, they do. First, he said you can find rice cakes, patty cakes, and butt cakes. It's funny, but I was reading an article yesterday. When I was looking through this, I was looking at this article, Older Men and Sex, because I was trying to find out as much as I could about, you know, what our lives are going to be like as we get older. And, you know, are we really enjoying sex at an older age and all of that? And there was, this is on Google, by the way, and it says 2014 was the year of the booty. And it was talking about anal sex and how popular it's become. And I was like, I didn't read the article because I was like, this is crazy. You know, but yeah, it just said 2014 was year of the booty. I don't know what that meant. But that's what they said. And I was like, wow. He said, so you can find rice cakes there. Oh, yeah. There's rice cakes here, right? Yeah. She said, yeah. What about butt cakes? She's laughing. Yeah, you got to be rich now, really. You know, America's a rich man's playground right now. That's crazy when I think back. See, I've been away from America for, over 3 years now. And when I look over there and I see how much stuff costs and everything, I'm like, wow. And how much money you have to earn just to scrape by. it blows my mind, man. I'll be like, man, it makes me don't want to. Even when I go back to visit my kids and grandkids, it's going to seem like I'm getting cheated anything that I buy. I mean, because just so, I promise you this right now, guys. I can go to one of the nicest resorts or beaches, stay in a nice hotel, food and everything for the whole weekend, and probably spend less than $200. Now, when you try that over there, it's just, I've gotten used to that. And that's why, I enjoy it over here. I got up today, I was drinking my coffee. I was just walking out kind of out front here to clear my head and just looking at these mango trees and coconut trees, all that stuff, man. It's like a natural high to me. It's like I'm living a dream. And I really am, because I always wanted to live in the tropics. This is something that I've always wanted to do. And it's just simple to me. I don't have to be in Boracay or in Camigan. I don't have to be in there. If I just walk out and see the sunlight and hear the roosters and all of that, it's like, man. Yeah, I've got grandkids, man. I'm 58 years young. I've got a 12-year-old. My oldest is 12. Yeah, she's 12 years old. Getting big, too. But I've just gotten accustomed to this simple way of life that it's really going to be reverse culture shock when I go back to America. It's just going to be a shock just to get behind the wheel. I haven't driven a car in almost 4 years. My license is still valid. It expires this year, June 2022. It's a lot of things I'm going to have to get adjusted to over there, even to be there 2 weeks all month. Excuse me. Yeah. Maybe that's this camera. What? What happened? Okay, Kevin says, Calvin, if you and your family are ever in Calavera Nueva, how do you pronounce this? Aseja in Luzon, you're welcome to stay with us, brother. We built a nice new vacation house there last year. Oh, wow. Are you there? Are you here now in the Philippines, Kevin? Because once this Omicron is ramped down and the Philippines reopens again, because it was reopened for domestic travel, we had just now started going places again. Then Omicron came. I'd like to go up to Luzon because I've got in my 12 years, I've got very, very little experience with Luzon, especially up that way. I've got a friend who's invited me to Laguna. I think he lives in, y'all want to say San Fernandez or somewhere like that. Yeah, I appreciate that. I would love to come up. The last time I was in Manila was 2019. I was doing my son's CRBA. We stayed in Ermita. I really enjoyed it. And I've got so many pictures of, well, they're on my other iPhone in America now, but we were staying in a condominium right across from the embassy. And during the evening, like maybe 5 o'clock, we walk across and go to Manila Bay, and we watched the sunset right on Manila Bay. I had so many pictures. Man, I wish I still had them. But I traded phones with my ex. She took my phone back to the United States. Yep, got all those pictures in there. Exactly. It does. He says traveling can keep you young and fresh at heart, Calvin. Something the Matrix can't do but keep you miserable and pissed off for no reason. I'm getting some drama from my kids. Well, not from them, but my daughter, my 19-year-old daughter. sends me a message today. He said, Daddy, Mama's putting me out. I've got 30 days to find another place to live. I'm like, you're 19. What is she putting you out for? Because she can't get along with the stepfather. And I'm like, I'm trying to left America to get away from that petty stuff like that. And if I could talk to the mother, I would tell her, I say, hey, look, when you were sick, I went to court and got custody of the kids and took them from you so you could get your rest. Why are you trying to start that stuff up with me again? No, I don't miss living in America, but there's some things I miss. I miss my family and seeing my friends, but only for about 2 weeks. I don't miss America. My lifestyle was just so hectic over there, so stressful. I was an insurance agent. That had a lot to do with it. I got 4 grown daughters. They had a lot to do with it. They're so entitled. I spoiled them, man, and I'm paying for that now. And just, it's just so much. It's the media, fanning the fires of all that hatred and stuff all the time over there. It just got too much for me. I said, it's got to be something different. And I came over here, man. I'm so thankful I came here in 2009. And I kept it up here. I said, man, I got to leave this place. I was thinking that today. It's funny you even asked me. When I was out there clearing my head today, I said, I'm sure if I would have stayed in America, if I wouldn't have made that move here in 2018, I'd be dead. Somewhere in a nursing home with a stroke, half my body immovable. Because one of my close friends had 2 strokes, man. He's lucky to be alive, but he's nowhere near the same. This guy was a chick's magnet. I mean, I'm not a gay. I'm not attracted to me. This man was handsome. Could have any woman he wanted. Very popular. Had 2 strokes, man, at 38 years old. Wow. Rent's $2,500 a month. That's unbelievable. Yeah, they're more expensive than boys, Nelia. And I'm going to tell you why. Because every birthday from the minute, I had 2 of my daughters. They all by the same mother, but 2 of my daughters are 10 months apart. They call them Irish twins. But from the very first birthday that the oldest had and the youngest was there, I had to buy 2 of everything. Then when my next one was born, 3 of everything, then 4 of everything. Every birthday up until I left. That's crazy. But obviously, Ken, I promise you I don't. He says, Calvin, you obviously spend a lot of time and effort on your YouTube channel. Would you be bored living there if you did not have it? You see, you got to understand, I don't know why people think that I spend so much time. The only time you see me spend a lot of time on here is my live streams. And this really is y'all. I'm responding to y'all. This is your live stream, really. But really, I don't, man. It just comes natural to me. I promise you, Malibu Ken. And me and John used to go back and forth with this all the time. I'm like, John, this is my YouTube channel. I said, I know it appears that I am, but I'm not. And you can ask my girlfriend. She's sitting here. I'll be riding my bike or something. I come up with a topic, and boom, I may spend 10 or 15 minutes getting my thoughts together about it, and I do it, and that's it. It's not like I spend a lot of time on my YouTube channel, probably about 20 minutes a day, other than my live streams. It's just, really, it's not, you see, go look at every one of my 700 videos. Very few of them, if any, are going to have editing and stuff like that. My videos are just me in front of a camera, me walking behind a camera. It's real simple stuff. But no, I don't spend a lot. And remember, my channel's only a year and about 4 months old. I've been here for 3 years and 2 months. So for about the first 2 years, I had no channel when I was here. And I was just as happy, if not happier. He said, will we be bored over there? Absolutely not. If you bring, and that's what I was telling Rock. He said, oh man, I'm bored. I said, well, what do you do at home, Rock? He said, I ride my bike. I said, well, ride your bike here. He said, I lift weights. Lift weights here. He said, I like to travel. Travel here. I read. Read here. I mean, what's the difference? Why would you be bored here? Absolutely not. You can actually, because the cost of living is so much cheaper, it affords you more opportunities to do more here than you could do at home, especially in America, man. It's expensive. We stayed, and okay, right before the pandemic, when she was pregnant with Booby, we stayed in Sikiho Island, right on the beach, man. I'm talking about right on the beach. It was $15 a night. White sand beach, aircon, hot and cold water. We went out and bought a little bitty grill. I don't know how much we paid for that grill. 300 and 400 pesos or something. Grilled fresh fish we bought and all that, man. That's what you can do over here. Get bored. Oh my God. I can't. I'm just not that type of person. I escape in a book. I'm not going to get bored over here. Yeah, Eric Brown, he's been over here. Yeah, $15. That's incredible. It is, and it was an American, a black American from I forgot where he said he was from. Him and his Filipino wife owned this place. They had 4 apartments on the top row and 4 on the bottom. They were all full, of course. And see, that's when I was telling you guys. You go back and look at my video. The businesses that you should be thinking about opening over here. Subleasing is one of them, like this Airbnb thing, under normal conditions. It's a great way for you to earn money. And you're in the background. Nobody ever sees you. They don't know that it's American that really owns this Airbnb. But you don't want to do it anywhere. You want to do it places where people go. Manila, Cebu. You don't want to do it in San Carlos. There's nobody coming here, really. You want to do it in McAllen, Iloilo, and all them places. Anywhere where it's tour, Boracay. Start subleasing you some places. Rent you an apartment, because most condos and apartments, they have it in the lease now that you can do that. A lot of these condominium communities here, they're promoting their condominium communities as a way for you to earn extra money. By subleasing, doing Airbnb, man, it was big before this damn pandemic. But that would be one thing I would do. He said, I'm just a natural communicator. I think I learned this when I was, honestly, as 18 years in the insurance business. I, of all people, are probably the most unlikeliest person to have a YouTube channel, to be an insurance agent. I'm so bashful, I'm so shy, but I remember when I was I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm just going to say this. I don't want to bother anybody. And I used to go to meetings, and, they ask you to speak. And I was terrified, man. I'm sweating, my palms are sweating. And a guy came up to me. He said, Calvin, just tell your story. He said, nobody knows your story better than you. How could you ever? There's nothing you have to really memorize. There's no script. Just tell your story, man. And from that day to this day, man, that's all I do. And that's why I don't get nervous or anything like that. I'm just giving you my boots on the ground experience. People send me topics all the time, and I'm like, man, I can't talk about that. I don't have any experience in that. Or I'll say, I don't get involved in government, politics, and stuff over here. There was a great article some guy sent me. It was about, they call it the sandwich generation over here. Like, we got Gen X and all that over here, millennials, but they got the sandwich generation. And these are couples that are sandwiched in between taking care of their own family and taking care of their parents or their family. And he said, man, you should do a video on this. I'm like, man, I don't have any. I said, it's a great article. I said, but I don't have any experience in that, number one. And number two, I would never talk about something like that, where I'm telling Filipinos what to do. I speak to foreigners, really. My channel is for foreigners. It's not for Filipinos. And they're welcome, but I don't, my content is not for them. They would never understand it. My girlfriend in the beginning, because y'all say, oh, she sits by and lets you say all this and all of that. Because in the beginning, she would get mad. And I would tell her, I said, honey, you don't really understand what I'm saying. And I would explain it to her. See, now, just like now, she's sitting here listening to me, doing her work. She ain't paying me no attention. Yeah, he said, boring people get bored. Right. He says, if you get bored there, you got serious issues, man. I got to agree with you, man. I got to agree with you. Even in a little place like St. Carlos City, it's a lot to do. I mean, it just is. 8 minutes from here is Sapaway Island, and you don't even have to go there to go swimming. You just go there and just walk around that little bitty island. It's like Mayberry RFD or some place like that. Or Center Mall. It's all kind of stuff. Yeah, go to the mall. We don't do malls in America anymore, man. The mall is the go-to place in the Philippines now. They have some of the largest malls in the world, extravagant malls. You could just go there and stay all day. Free aircon and all of that. He said some people will be bored in Disneyland. Yeah, you can very modestly live here. And I think, see, I'm going to speak for myself. Money was always what stressed me out over there. I thought about it all the time, but when you come to a place where you're going to have more money than bills, and money's not, even though you're not rich, and you don't have any more money than you had in America, the cost of living here makes you have more. So money's no longer an issue. It frees you up, man. It takes a weight off of you, and you'll find stuff to do. That's the number one reason a lot of us, man, we die, man. We worry about that money. We stressed about it. We don't have enough. Trying to get more of it. You go to bed thinking about your bills. You wake up thinking about them. I'm just telling you, man. Forcing us to work on jobs we don't want to work on. We're unhappy over there. Somebody said work. I saw some guy talking about this on Facebook. He said work steals your dreams, because it takes away from time that you could be doing what you really want to do. But hell, you got to work to pay them damn bills that never stop coming. Mark Jackson said, have you been to Cayenne de Oro? That's where I plan to live with my lady. Absolutely been there many times. I love it there. It's in northern Mindanao. It's very close to one of my favorite islands, Comigan Island. Not really close, but it's about a 3-hour bus ride, then another 45-minute ferry ride. But yeah, when you go there, go to Bukidnon, brother. Go up in them mountains, go and see them it's Del Monte, the guy told me the other day. Pineapple plantations. It's pineapples I'm talking about for as far as you can see. If you've ever been on a ship out to sea and you see the horizon, they say the horizon is 11 miles away. That's how these pineapples are up there. And it's like being on, remember those old mining towns in America? I'm from Kentucky. They had plenty of them where the employees lived on the grounds, the managers and everything, the stores and everything was there. That's how it is up there now in 2022. That's a fact. But hell, guys, I got to get off here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the super chat, super stickers, thumbs up, all your support, man, for Sunshine Shoulders. let's what time is it? It's 12:02. I'm gonna say on Friday at the time that we normally have the sunshine shoulders, moonshine shoulders, let's observe a moment of silence, just 1 minute for John, man. At 9:30, it'll be 9:30 a.m. Friday Philippine time. So it'll be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast over in America, man. Let's have just a 1 minute moment of silence. Everybody channel all our thoughts toward John and his healing and his speedy recovery, man. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time. Wait, I forgot. I'm getting ahead of myself. Since I got this again, I might as well play it.
It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground. It's the real nitty-gritty. Boots on the ground.